Okay, guys. So let's go through the basic deployment today, right? I'm not going to tell you how to write the YAML today. You just have to understand how the Kubernetes will pick your image, right, and will ask your Docker runtime, right? Will do your Docker to run this Nginx image over the Kubernetes. So what I'm doing here is I'm not creating more replicas. I'm just deploying one image, or you can say one pod here itself. So that's I'm saying just kubelet create deployment image equals to nginx, and the name should be of the deployment nginx hyphen. Just go ahead and hit enter. You can see one deployment has been created here, and the deployment is called this, right? Nginx hyphen app. So you can quickly go here kubectl get deployment, right? It will show one deployment has been done here, right? And it says 1 and 1 ready. That means it's ready, it's up to date, and the age is 50 second. I mean 15 second. Now, if you want to see your pods, right? How many pods has been created in this deployment? So you can go here. Sorry for that. kubectl get pod. Here it shows one pod is running. 1 and 1. It says that means if you are running 4 pod, 5 replicas, right? Then if those are getting ready, as you can see here 5 or 5 or 4, 5 or 2. We'll discuss and see them more later on. So here I have just run one image, one, I mean, I will call it one pod. That's what it is showing, one pod here, right? So in the same way, right, in the Docker, we used to do Docker PS, right? Here now what we do is kubectl get pod. It shows us the pod detail. Now, when how we used to log into the Docker containers using the Docker exec hyphen it. In the same way we do here kubectl exec hyphen it, your pod name and the shell, right? So it will take you to the nginx pod, right? That's how it is, right? Now again the similar thing I will explain you guys. Do you remember that time, right? Whenever we used to create pod, we used to expose them so that we could access them either. Do you remember we used to have a different kind of services there? Either the pod, I mean that container should be accessible from the inside the container, and if you want to get access that from the public, right? So we will discuss about those also, what those services are, what are those, the way we will expose those things, right? So here we will just see the smaller things first. What I will do is I will just expose this here, this image here, right? What I'm doing here is I'm just exposing, I'm doing the local cluster, I'm just exposing it locally, right? So if I do it kubectl get services, you will see one service has been exposed here, but this is accessible within the cluster only, not from the outside, right? If I try to curl it here, well, it should be available, right? It will not be accessible because this is accessible from inside the cluster only, from the local itself, right? That's what it is not accessible at this moment. But let's say if I log into my cluster itself, if I go to my cluster node directly, so I think I do have already the IP, so I'll not copy it from there. I'll do control C. We'll go here and we'll try to access it here itself inside my cluster. I was outside the cluster, I was not able to access. See, if I tried accessing it from inside the cluster, guys, I am able to access my nginx space here, right? It says HTTP is okay, and that sounds good to me, but I am not able to access it from the outside, right? In the same way, guys, if I want to access this service from outside, right, what I will have to do, I'll have to use the different services type. Again, I said we will discuss more about those services later on, right? Here what I can do is, while I'm creating service, right, I've given this name hyphen hyphen type equals to, I will give a load balancer. Okay, sorry for that, because it says already the service is available. So what I'm saying is I'm giving one another name here. I'm giving service. I says this is my deployment type, right? kubectl expose. Expose mean expose this application. Initially I expose inside my cluster, that was locally. Now I said expose my deployment, right? My deployment name is this and port is 80. Open it, right? Name should be this and open it publicly. Just create one load balancer for me. Okay, that sounds good. I hit enter here. Now it says exposed. Now, if I do kubectl get services, do you guys see? Now a load balancer has been created here, right? This is now publicly accessible, but I have not opened any port. So I'll not even open it. If I try to access from here, I will not be able to access it. But the ports are open from here itself. But if I try to access it from here, from my local machine, which I'm using, to access this node, so I should be access my, what is this? The font is getting bigger. Let's take it 60. Okay. So let's do kubectl get services. So that's the load balancer. So let's take this IP, cluster IP, and this is the external IP. That's open. So let's do curl hyphen I http. That should be open though. You can see now, guys, I'm able to access this service. However, this is publicly accessible, but I have not opened the port from outside. That's what I'm not able to access. But inside this node, see, I'm able to access it. So that's the difference of services. We'll talk more about node port, load balancer, and cluster IP later on. Any doubts so far?